ResortLoop.com is proud to be sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Joffrey's now offers coffee subscriptions. You can order a 3, 6, or 12-month subscription. You can choose from 3 collections: the Flavored Coffee Collection, the Roastmasters Collection, or the Disney Signature Coffee Collection. Each collection includes 3 bags per month. With the Joffrey's Coffee subscriptions, never run out of great coffee again. Learn more and order at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
We are now approaching the Contemporary Resort Hotel. If you are exiting and would like to reboard the monorail later today, please receive a hand stamp as you exit the platform.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com, the gateway to the magic. I'm thrilled for today's show. Super duper excited because we are going to do more on the Love and Hate series. Joining me for the series, as usual, Mr. Jeremy Hunt.
Hey, Tim.
And we have a very special guest today, Super Looper guest, friend of the show, Mr. Ben Fluth. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Jeremy. Looper Nation. How you guys doing?
I'm sure they're all doing fantastic. Ben, I want to thank you for reaching out. You were like, Tim, are you going to do Fort Wilderness anytime soon? And I said, Ben, heck yeah, I am right now because you're reaching out to me. So,
well, happy I could come on and help.
So, Ben, tell us a little bit about your Disney story. Like, how long have you been a Disney fan? And then we'll get into the Fort Wilderness side of things.
All right. Well, I think I've been a Disney fan ever since I can remember. My dad's family started going opening year. And we've pretty much been going every year since I was born. Maybe twice, sometimes 3 times a year. And my wife is also a big Disney nerd fan, so we've been doing that for our honeymoon and anniversaries and all that. So I bet I've been over hundreds of times. So it's just been a family obsession since I can remember.
There's worse family obsessions to have.
I blame my grandparents and my dad.
That's where the blame lies.
Good job, Dad. Good job, grandparents.
So you're a big fan of Fort Wilderness.
Yep.
How long have you been going to Fort Wilderness? What's kind of your Fort Wilderness story?
So, basically from the time I started going to Disney, Fort Wilderness was a thing. I didn't stay in a Disney hotel till I think I was in high school.
Wow.
So we did Fort Wilderness usually at least once a year, sometimes twice. We'd meet up with my grandparents and my cousins, and we'd all camp there for a couple weeks at a time. So Fort Wilderness is probably my favorite place in the world to go stay. Just so much to do there, and just so many memories.
And you said Fort Wilderness, for a couple weeks or so. People need to realize that the campground is actually much cheaper than a resort hotel.
Yep. Yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons we were able to do it with a family of 5. As you guys know, hotel rooms are sparse for a family of 5, and it adds up pretty quick. So Fort Wilderness definitely allowed us to visit more than we could at a hotel.
All right. So
the first of many questions here, like what might it cost? Like what are the costs for camping versus other options?
So we were there last October, and we paid, I think it was around $100 a night for what was called a premium meadow site. So the top of the line campsite. Okay. I know during like Christmas and spring break, I've seen it as high as $200 some a night for a camp spot.
Wow.
But I think there's 5 different tiers of campsites, starting at like a tent up to the premium meadows, and it can range about $100 difference sometimes.
Okay.
And then you also have the cabins, which are really nice too, but those usually run in the $200-$300 range.
Those are more of the hotel level type cost, yeah?
Yeah, I think they rate them around like a moderate resort. But they sleep 6 and they're very roomy, and you get the outdoor experience still.
Yeah, that's on our list. We want to try those guys.
Yeah, I would definitely, if no one's done Fort Wilderness, definitely, if you don't have a trailer or a camper, definitely rent one of the cabins. Or I know there's even companies that will rent trailers and drop them on the site for you before you get there.
Mm.
We haven't tried that yet, but I know a lot of people that have, and it sounds like a good way to do it.
Very interesting. Nice. What is the we called it the Premium Meadows because when I was going, back in the day, and we're going back a couple decades, the top of the line spot was called the Preferred Loops up by the trading post up by the lake.
Yep. So Premium are the ones closest to your transportation, and then the Premium Meadows are the ones, I think it's the 600 loop and the 1400 loop that are close to the Meadows trading post and the main pool and the campfire. So when we stayed last year, if you sat on the back side of the motorhome, you could look right at the campfire sing-along and movie from our site. So it was
very nice.
Very close to all the hustle and bustle.
So again, before we get into the love and hate thing, just so everybody can get a picture of it, what kind of a camping unit do you normally travel in?
So we travel with my parents. They have a 40-foot motorhome.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons we go with the Premium is a little bit bigger padded sites than your Preferred or your full hookups.
Have you done a tent?
I have not.
Okay.
The closest we got, we did tent trailers back when I was little, when we stayed there. But
the smell of canvas.
And hoping it didn't rain on pack-up day.
Oh, right. And you pulling all that sand they had around the campsite with the crushed-up shells in it?
Yep.
All right, guys, let's start off with our top things we love and hate about Fort Wilderness. And I think we need, Jeremy, I think we need to let Ben go first.
I totally agree.
Well, let's try not to screw this one up. But
no pressure.
Yeah. The first one for me is just the atmosphere of the resort.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't feel like you're at a theme park. You're in the woods. When you're walking along the paths, you have the music playing that you feel you're out in the wilderness. You still get those sounds of Magic Kingdom, so you can hear the train whistle or the paddle boat whistles. But it's one of those resorts I think you can go to and not even go to the parks and just hang out for days on end and not have to go to Magic Kingdom or Epcot or anything like that. And then just the space. You don't feel like you're on top of everyone. You're not sharing a wall with anyone. So there's just that appeal of being out in the middle of nowhere kind of feel.
How far away are you from your quote neighbors, so to speak, when you're camping?
I would say probably about anywhere from 20 to 30 feet.
I've wondered if this. See, don't let me venture into the hate area, but I've wondered if it could get rowdy / loud, or if it was still peaceful, even though people were close by you.
If you're staying in a tent or a tent trailer, you probably would hear a little bit more. Especially during holiday seasons when it's pretty crowded.
Yeah.
But I think compared to an all-star resort, it's nowhere near that noise level.
True. Plus, once you're in your RV and you have the air conditioner running and you're watching TV.
Yeah.
After a long day of touring the parks.
Yeah.
Well, I had kind of a similar one for my very first one, actually, Ben. I put in just the vibe of the resort for everything you just said. But I think a lot of people need to realize who maybe haven't been to Fort Wilderness or might not even be campers. People who RV are some of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, I would agree. And we have friendships that we've made over the years, and we still keep in touch, Christmas cards and stuff from 20 years back, meeting at the campground.
Aw.
Now, speaking of that, is this a deal where you could rent the same site year after year, or is it completely luck of the draw when you stay?
I think it's mainly luck of the draw. I mean, you can request the site. I know there are some people that go there and stay in the same loop every year, but they might have a deal that most people don't get. I guess my guess is if you're staying for 3-4 months at a time, they work with you pretty good.
Well, see, that was going to be another question. I didn't know they allowed that. That's kind of cool, though. If you can afford it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there are people that will winter there for at least a good part of the winter.
Yeah.
Dang.
Exactly. Jeremy, we need to go buy an RV.
We do. We do.
Jeremy,
you guys both nailed my first one too. It literally says beautiful nature. We can have nature and Disney. We used to camp a lot when I was a kid. Well, even as an adult, I haven't done it a whole lot recently, but we used to camp quite a bit, and just love it. And I don't know what that would be like on Disney property. I want to find out. We haven't done it yet, but it would be kind of cool to be near the parks and get to experience that at the same time. That's got to be awesome.
Yeah, Disney just throws in that extra magic that we all talk about. I think it's my favorite campground I've ever stayed at over my 30-some year life.
Ben, do you have anything else? What else do you love about Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort?
I would say the activities. Anything from biking to the outdoor movie and sing along with the campfires. Water sports there at Bay Lake. I mean, you can rent those sea racers or a pontoon or do a fishing guide. And then I think you guys all know you can rent golf carts there.
Oh, that was my number 2. Tell us all about the golf carts.
It's just, if you try to rent them from there, rarely you can get one. They're always sold out.
Oh,
so
really?
We brought our own last year. My grandpa bought one. We trailered it down for him. And just being able to cruise around, go looping and look at all the different motorhomes. And then this one kind of takes into another one I had. But when you go there in the holidays with a golf cart, the site decorations around Christmas time or Halloween will blow you away. It makes Main Street decorations look normal.
Wow.
See, that's jumping ahead on my list, man.
But yeah, going back to this activities, I know a lot of the resorts have the outdoor like movie or campfire, but I think Fort Wilderness takes it to the next level. Big outdoor screen, multiple campfires, a big amphitheater. And then before the movie, you have the sing along with Chip and Dale, which are just great for the kids.
Oh, that's cool.
And don't they do s'mores or offer s'mores kits? How do they do that there?
Yeah, so you can buy s'mores kits at the trading posts, or you can bring your own. We usually bring our own. It saves a little bit of money, but yeah, you can buy stuff at the trading posts, and it's just, yeah, I get there early. You can do your s'more, do the sing along, and then enjoy a good old Disney movie. I like when they throw the classics out there, like Apple Dumpling Gang or Snowball Express.
Oh, Snowball Express. You hit me in the heart. Oh, love that movie.
And I think, like, the water sports, you can rent boats. I've stayed at, like, Boardwalk and stuff. You can rent these little sea racers there. But if you rent them at any of the Magic Kingdom resorts, you get a lot more space to drive around. With Bay Lake and Seven Seas Lagoon, it's a lot bigger than your Crescent Lake.
Do they do the canoe kayak thing, or is that is that not really a thing anymore?
Yes, at the Meadows Trading Post, you can rent a canoe or kayak. And they have fishing docks there too.
And you had mentioned the fishing excursions. What's that about? Have you done that?
I have not. A lot of people I've seen, I'm on a Disney Campers Facebook page, and they'll put out a note out there saying we're doing a fishing excursion. I think you can take up to 5 or 6 people for one fee, and they take you out on the Bay Lake and Seven Seas Lagoon with a pro fishing guide. I heard the bass fishing is really good out there. It's on my bucket list, but I haven't done it yet.
That's awesome.
My dad would flip out. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, though. There's only 2 of them going. They'll say, hey, we have 4 slots if you want to split the price, kind of thing. So I know a lot of people that will split the tour. I think is it a 2 or 3 hour fishing guide, maybe?
Okay. Very nice. Although I've heard you want to avoid 3-hour tours, actually, when you go out on the water.
Yeah,
but
yeah. That was not.
I don't remember what that was. I think it was something in the news, but anyway.
Or if your fishing guide's name's Gilligan.
That's it, exactly. My little buddy.
Nope, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
Jeremy, what do you have on your list next for love?
Well, one of the things that he had mentioned was the holiday decor and the golf carts. And so, again, full disclosure, we haven't got to experience this yet, but we watched the vids. We watched the the folks that do the vlogging, and they'll do the Halloween tour of the sites and the Christmas tour of the sites, and I cannot believe it. Some of these, like, I don't even know how much money some of these folks must spend. Like we saw this one recently for Halloween, and it looks like a whole village they built. And so, like, I don't know how that works or the cost involved, but it looks amazing. And one of the things that we really want to try, it's even on our list this year, if we can do it, is to rent a golf cart and drive around and see the Christmas decor. I'm not sure how that will work in 2020. If not, we'll do it next year. But just that type of spirit, like it's an attraction that apparently Disney doesn't even do. It's like it's brought by the people who stay there. That's even cooler.
Right.
Yeah. I heard someone put it. They said the Osborne Family Lights was great, and then the Fort Wilderness lights were amazing, is how they put it.
Oh.
And I would tend to agree, because people bring complete trailers full of Christmas decorations.
They would have to. Like there were columns and like giant inflatable things. I'm like, man, what?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Meanwhile, we're sitting there with our one blow up Mickey, feeling proud about that.
And they're like, look at these amateurs.
Oh, the people are bringing in their own animatronics. Their own parade floats.
Yeah, I saw something about like one of the tours I saw through on video where like, well, Disney had said you can't go. I'm going to mess this up, but like this one that they were looking at that had columns and like archways and everything, and they were apparently like visitors to the sites can't go like through. They can't go into your area. Like it's amazing. They have to have rules that say don't go into this enormous area that was just put up by these campers. You can look, but you can't go in there.
We've stayed there before where they had like the area between the sites. They put like a walk-through display. And then other people set up home theaters on outside with the blow-up screens, and you go in there and they'd have candy and refreshments and stuff. It was just, you don't know them, but you feel like it's a family during that time. Everyone's just welcoming you to their site or dropping off like a Christmas gift or a Halloween gift for the kids.
Yeah, it touches back on how nice, one, Disney people are very nice to begin with, and RV people are very nice to begin with. So you combine them all together, you're getting a high quality person here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. I don't think Grand Flow is going to let you put stuff up in the hallways.
Oh, and Jeremy, just from what I've been hearing with the whole 2020 situation is, unless you're staying at the campground, they're not allowing people to come in and rent golf carts.
Oh.
Or even like park up front unless you're doing a dinner, I think. But I don't even think Trails End or the Hoop-de-Doo are open right now.
Sad trombone.
Wow.
Yeah. We were hoping to do that. We're going to come down probably in December to South Florida, and we were hoping to do that, but that kind of put a kibosh on things too. So
yeah, I know that Hoop-de-Doo is closed. The other, I'm not sure.
On my list, Ben, and you're going to have to actually correct me here, because like I said, it's been a long time since I've been there. But I always enjoyed the trading posts, both the settlement, by the water, and the meadows in the center. Because it seemed like, at least back in the day, they had some very unique merchandise you couldn't find anywhere else on the resort property. Does that still hold true?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, they carry your typical Disney souvenirs, but a lot of Fort Wilderness themed merchandise, and then a lot of stuff for camping. Anything from, like we talked about, the s'mores stuff to just cooking, like pans, pots, all that kind of stuff you can actually buy there still. So a little bit different than your typical stores at the other resorts.
Right. Prices kind of reflect, though, you're still at Disney, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got me on the... You remember those little cereal boxes?
Yes.
So that was our favorite thing when we went camping as kids, was those little cereal boxes.
Yes.
Well, I walked in there and they had a pack of them, and normally at Walmart they're what, $2-3, and I think they charged me like $8 for it. But it was that nostalgia thing that kicked in, and the Magic Band makes it so easy.
Right. Oh my goodness. Are those the boxes where you could cut it up and use the box as the bowl if you had to?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, Ben, what else do you have on your list? Why else do you enjoy the Fort Wilderness?
I would say being able to watch fireworks and the water pageant parade from the beach.
Oh, that's good.
And with the fireworks, they pump in that music. You don't have to go fight the crowds at Magic Kingdom if you don't want to, and sit on a lounge chair on the beach overlooking Bay Lake and watch the fireworks followed by the electrical parade.
Is that parade, is the water pageant viewable from anywhere else? Or like I'm exposing my ignorance here. Is it literally made to be viewed from there? Or
it makes multiple stops. I think it hits every Magic Kingdom resort and even does one in front of the Magic Kingdom, I believe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll just pull it around back there in the Bay Lake, right by the dock there, and do a little show.
Yep.
Love it.
Oh, good stuff.
Next on my list it is surprisingly close to a lot of stuff that isn't park. It is right around the corner from Springs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do this as much right now, but when everything was in lockdown, we would take the drive that goes past Golden Oak, out Vista Boulevard, past the entrance to Fort Wilderness. And it surprised me, 'cause we didn't used to do that drive a whole lot, but when we started doing that drive, it always surprised me how close Fort Wilderness actually is to everything. Because I always had this idea that it was kind of far from other stuff, but literally you pop out of there and you head right down, Bonnet Creek Parkway, and boom, you're basically right at the Springs. So if you have dining for the evening or whatever, you can be there in 10 minutes max. So that's a cool perk.
Yeah, Disney kind of does that illusion thing with the curvy roads to make you think you're further away than you are.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, someone's angry.
Stop growling,
Apparently.
man.
I know. Apparently my dog sees deer in the backyard.
Okay, so I think this is kind of the last one on my love list. And again, Ben, you're going to have to correct me if this is incorrect. But if you're going camping, at least when I went back in the day to Fort Wilderness, the comfort stations there were so clean that you had no problem, going over there. Maybe you didn't want to mess up the bathroom in your travel trailer or somebody who was in there. Are the comfort stations still fantastic?
Yes, they are. So when we go sometimes with tight quarters with 5-6 people in the motorhome, I always go use the comfort station.
Mm-hmm.
They're always clean. There's multiple showers in there. You can do laundry at the comfort stations. And like you mentioned, they're always clean. They're always updated. If you do have an issue, they're out there really quick to fix whatever's going on.
Wow.
And there's one in each loop too, so it makes it pretty close for no matter where you're camping.
So they never really look or feel crowded at all?
No.
Do they still have house phones? Because back in the day, they had house phones there if you need to reach anybody.
I believe they do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Plus, I'm really digging the fact that bathrooms are called comfort stations.
Oh, exactly. Other places are called the shower house.
Yeah, the bathhouse.
All right. Does anybody else have anything on their love list for Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort?
Well,
So
I have
go ahead, Joey.
a love/comma question mark that I'm going to throw out to you guys.
Oh, I love it.
See, because I looked this up, and it looks like there's a decent amount of dining. We got to venture into dining. It looks like there's a decent amount of dining available, but I haven't partaken of it, and so I'm curious to see what you guys think. Is the dining a love, or is the dining a hate?
I think for me, it's kind of both. For sit-down dining, it's a love. Between Trails End and the Hoop-de-Doo, both are great food, and Hoop-de-Doo is just, it's got to be some of the best entertainment at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to quick service, I think it's kind of lacking. I mean, you have some, you have takeout from Trails End, and then there's a like a quick service at the pool, but that closes pretty early, and it's a limited selection.
Tell me about the Trails End. Is that what they call family style? Is it a buffet? What is it?
I think breakfast and dinner are a buffet now, and lunch might be table service.
Okay.
We usually do the breakfast and dinner, and they're both great. The staff there are outstanding. People working there that have been working there since I've been going.
Wow.
And I know on the Disney Campers page, everyone always has to get pictures with certain waiters or waitresses.
See, I love that. When people stay a long time in jobs, like service jobs, that means it's an awesome place.
I know back in the day at the Trails End, and I don't think they do this anymore. I think I probably talked about this years ago. They used to have a make your own pizza station there, where you'd walk in, work yourself down, kind of like a little assembly line. You'd pick your toppings up from little bowls. Maybe I think you would dump it on the pizza, and then you'd hand it off, and they'd go through the pizza oven, and you'd pick it up on the other side. I think after you got your drinks, but I'm going back 2, maybe 3 decades at this point. So
they didn't let you man the oven yourself?
Well, I wasn't nearly as skilled as I am now with,
Sir, back away from the oven.
Sir, get away. I'm hungry. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to roll out. So I don't know if they offer anything like that there anymore. Is it just the normal menu you can get takeout from, Ben?
I think you can get pizza.
Hey.
And I know they do like fried chicken dinners or rib dinners and stuff like that.
Oh, and it's probably the same chicken and ribs from the Hoop-de-Doo.
I believe so.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the same that you get at Trails End.
Right. So I just need to walk up there with one of those napkins around my neck, the red and white striped check ones, and some naps for my fingers and face, and go to town.
Just bring a washboard, and they'll throw you right into the show.
There you go. Because I'm eating in the golf cart on the way back to the trailer.
I just came here to eat. They're like, dance, buddy.
Oh, that's right. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys, I think maybe we need to transition into what we hate. Again, a strong word, but for Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort. Ben, what do you hate? What could be better?
I think for me is the price. It used to be pretty cheap compared to some of the resorts, but now we're approaching the value resort price level. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even the moderate resort price level, depending on what accommodations you're booking.
Yeah, when you said $200, I was actually surprised.
Yeah. There's been times where we've looked at the campground and ended up booking a value resort because it was cheaper, especially when you throw in, for us, I mean, we're from Minnesota, so it's a long drive with a motorhome.
Right. That's a lot of gas.
It is. So I think that's probably my biggest hate would be the price.
Do you think the popularity of camping and RVing, because it seems it really has blown, I guess it's always been kind of popular, but it seems like it really has blown up and those things are in demand. Okay, so this ventures into a quick question. Are the sites, like some of them specific to tents and others are specific to RVs, or is it just kind of like whatever you want to do at either spot?
Yeah, so like the lower tier is your tent site, which can accommodate a tent. I think some you can maybe do a tent trailer. I'm not 100% sure on that, but those.
But you couldn't park your RVs at those, right?
No, they won't fit.
Okay.
So I think that a lot of the tent sites, they have a concrete slab just big enough, maybe just park your car, and the rest is that, like Tim mentioned earlier, the sand that's got the seashells in it.
Yes, the first time we camped in Florida and I thought sand would be soft. Yeah, no.
Sometimes you're lucky it doesn't slice your tires.
And I think with the price too is, at least for booking wise, it seems to be one of the more popular resorts out there. I mean, people are booking this over a year in advance. I saw people on Facebook earlier this week saying, we just tried to book Christmas for 2021 and we couldn't get a site.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So it fills up quick.
Well, so there's the price, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, going to the only... Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Jeremy.
One of my cons is again going to be something I'm going to throw out to you guys. I have heard/read that the transportation. Okay, so obviously you could catch a boat to the kingdom, so that's amazing. But again, kind of going back to what we talked the other week, man, I'm failing here. There's buses that take you around the resort itself. Am I right there?
Yeah, the internal
Yes.
buses.
And then you can catch those buses to, I guess, like the main terminal area where you can catch a bus to the other parks. And I've heard that the waits can be kind of long, but I want to throw it out to you guys and see what you think.
It used to be a lot better. The inner resort bus used to come, it seemed like every 5 minutes. Now it seems a lot more spread out.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes sometimes, depending on the time of season. And then, like you said, you have to take it up to the check-in area and wait for a bus there. That's where the golf carts definitely come in handy, saves you some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so since I'm not familiar with how big this is, if you're camped in like the back 40 somewhere and you want to just walk up to the area where you can catch a bus to the parks, how far is that?
I would say it could be up to a half-hour walk.
What?
Yeah.
If you're trying to catch a bus to Epcot or Hollywood Studios and you're up by the settlement where the boat docks and everything are, it probably is a half-hour walk if you're going to do it.
Man, I never would have guessed. That blows me away.
It's a very long resort north to south.
Yep.
All right, so you're taking that bus up to the front then, and if it's 20 minutes and then you got to catch the other bus, that could be a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was there back in the day when they had the train. That's going way back.
Wait a minute. Tell me about this.
There was a small internal train. I forget the scale. It wasn't like a full scale. It may have been half or 5/8. I don't even remember. But it would travel around the campground, stop at, I believe the 2 trading posts. I don't remember if it went all the way to the front gate necessarily. I was a real young then. But I remember we were camped in a loop once and looking out the back window of the trailer, you'd see and hear the train going by, which is adorable.
Man, that sounds great.
Unless
That
you're trying to
does
sleep
sound
in.
great.
Unless you're trying to sleep in. Then the train just keeps going by. Which I think
So it's
was one of its
gone?
downfalls. It's gone.
Oh,
And the places, I think I saw somewhere there are still some spots where you can see the tracks,
Yep.
but like all the overpasses have been paved over.
Mm.
And I may or may not at one point walked the tracks and pulled up some loose spikes. I may or may not. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying
So that was you selling those on eBay, Tim.
it could have been. Actually, I don't even remember what I ended up doing with them, but I think I had, well, I won't say how many because I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that. But
That's one thing I've never done that I've seen a lot of people do is go find some of the old track.
oh, that's your job next time you go, Ben.
I might have to do that next time.
Yes.
Go spelunking in river country.
There we go.
Well, we know that's illegal.
I heard you can't camp on Discovery Island either.
No, they frown upon
Well,
that.
I mean, you can
Just got to deal with the consequences.
You're right.
for
First,
a limited amount of time.
first you have to brave the water. Oh my goodness. I will say that my hate was just exactly kind of what Jeremy said. I was just going to talk about the transportation and the bus, but I will say that one of the pluses, actually a couple pluses. One, you don't have to pay to park at your own camping spot.
Yeah.
And 2, if you're not going to the Magic Kingdom, if you have a tow vehicle and a trailer, and maybe you can't do that with a motorhome unless you're towing a car, You just drive to whatever park, and then you can't get any closer to your room when you're all done at the end of the night.
That's very true.
So that's just a little something out there you might want to throw out if you're towing yours, or if even if you're in a cabin, you're going to have the same benefit there. So
if you're camping, how many parking spots do you normally have there by your site? Is it just like a one car thing?
it's like a one long spot for your RV and enough room for your car. Is that correct, Ben?
Yeah, so with some of the bigger sites like what we had last year, I think you could have fit 2 cars because we had a car and a golf cart along with the motorhome on the site. But I think they only include 1 car for the free parking.
Gotcha.
And then I don't think the cabins have free car parking. I think you have to pay like it's a moderate.
Ben, I honestly don't remember. When you make a reservation, do they ask you how long your RV is?
Yes.
Okay, that would make sense. Because they didn't want to give you a 24-foot spot if you're driving a 40-foot motorhome.
Yeah, that would be a bad day.
Jeremy or Ben, do you have any other hates or any other concerns you might share or think people would like to be aware of?
Well, I think we kind of covered, this is kind of a love and hate for me, but how spread out it is.
Mm-hmm.
It allows for a lot of things like being able to bike or walk around and get, if you're a runner, Fort Wilderness is a great place for exercise and stuff like that. We tend to bring our bikes when we go down. But that can also, we kind of talked about with the transportation. If you don't have a car, I mean, it can add a lot of time to your travel time between your campsite and a park.
I would almost say it almost have to be a requirement, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's why the golf carts are so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's why there's not as much internal bus service anymore. It could be because of the golf cart popularity.
Oh, that's true.
Plus, that's a revenue stream for them, I'm sure, as
It
well.
is.
So, yeah.
It's crazy. I think they charge $60 or $70 a day.
Wow.
And
So they're like, oh, you're tired of waiting, are you? Well.
And it's more for the optional insurance.
Yeah, with the transportation, the bus service for me is lacking, but the boat service to the Magic Kingdom is a huge plus.
Nice. Ben, is there still like a long bike trail, golf cart trail, exercise trail at Fort Wilderness? Kind of goes, I think would go towards the Wilderness Lodge.
I don't know. I think it's closed for now because of, the work they were doing on Reflections.
Oh, okay.
But yes, there was.
Mm-hmm. I
don't
remember.
know if they'll come back.
Hopefully.
Because I would do that a lot of mornings. I would get up and just walk to the lodge. And if I was too tired to come back, or if the weather wasn't very nice coming back, I just hopped a boat.
So do you guys know whether Reflections, a Lakeside Lodge is still in the cards? Is that coming, or is that iffy?
No,
I heard there were more permits filed after they stopped work on it a while ago, but I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate or not.
See, I heard it was kind of on permanent hiatus now, so.
Yeah, which wouldn't surprise me, but that's a big investment when you're not filling the parks.
Right.
How does a frequent camper at this resort feel about that project? Is that going to be great and add cool stuff, or does it take something away?
I think it takes something away. I mean, it'll be fun to see. And I think if we ever were to buy into DVC, being that close to Fort Wilderness would be nice, but it took away a lot of the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And they tore down the stables. They had to move all the stables. And I know the Mickey's Backyard Barbecue was torn down for it.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it when it was announced, and I really wasn't a big fan of something that might take away from Fort Wilderness, or maybe add a lot of more people to there, just kind of wandering around. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan.
I think the overall, at least with a lot of the campers, the overall opinion is it's going to take away from the ambiance of the Fort Wilderness.
Yeah. Well,
you had mentioned the stables. Is the Tri-Circle D thing still there? Like, is the ranch still there, or is that something that they tore down?
They tore down and built a brand new one because they had to move it due to reflections construction. But yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
So you can do trail rides, and I know they have hay rides and stuff like that.
And I believe that's still the home of the horses that walk Main Street pulling the trolleys. Is that correct?
I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I was pretty sure. That's their home when they're not pulling. I think that someone had even told me they only work for like an hour or two a day, and then that's it.
Oh, wow.
But, pulling tourists in 95-degree heat. More power to them.
One of the coolest things we ever did with the kids, this has been a lot of years ago, was we took the one of the horse rides around Port Orleans, and our old horse was Bob.
Oh.
And they told us that was his home. So
there you go.
We often ask about Bob. I'm afraid to ask these days, but hope you're well, Bob, wherever you are, buddy.
I'm sure Bob's doing well.
Yep.
No better place to retire.
That sounds like a great retirement place.
It does. All right. Ben, Jeremy, before we wrap this up, anything else we want to add? I think we've pretty much torn apart the Fort Wilderness Resort with our long list of hates involving where you park your car.
It's been the least hate ever.
I know. There's so much to love here.
Well, I was trying to come up with a list, and I'm like, well, I do dislike that, but I don't hate that.
I know. Hate's a strong word, but hey, we have to draw the lines somewhere, Ben.
We do.
Ben, if anybody has any questions, or maybe they would like some kind of camping tips, or they're thinking about staying at Fort Wilderness, can people reach out to you somewhere?
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook. I'm on Looper Nation. If you want to look me up there, just shoot me a message. And I'm on Twitter. Rarely, but I'm on Twitter at BenFluth216. So,
how about you, Jeremy?
I'm Jeremy Hunt FL on Instagram, and I haunt Looper Nation quite often.
Yes, you do.
Give me a wave. Say hi.
Ben, thanks for reaching out to be on the show. If anybody else out there would like to join our love and hate panel with me and Jeremy as we build up and then tear down a Disney resort, reach out to me at tim@ResortLoop.com, or, of course, over at our private Facebook group, Looper Nation Live. Again, guys, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. Did I already say Facebook and Twitter? I don't know. Go out there and share the gateway to the magic. We'll see everybody. Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoop.com.